Hi, everyone, and congratulations. You finished your Create Performance task. Now you have to take a video of your program running, demonstrating the functionality of your program. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make that video and what to include in it. But first, let me go over the parameters of your video. Because if your video doesn't meet these parameters, the digital portfolio won't even let you upload it. So first off, remember, you have to do this video all on your own. There is no collaboration allowed on the video. Even if you collaborated with another person on the actual program, you each have to make your own video, okay? Now, the video itself is going to have to demonstrate the following things. It needs to demonstrate some sort of input, that something is inputted into your program. It needs to at least show one aspect of the functionality of your program, and then it also needs to show the output of your program. Now, the video cannot contain anything about you, your name, your school, your teacher's name, and also you're not allowed to use voice narrations. Now, you can do text captioning on the screen, but you're not allowed to narrate it, okay? And even if you do, the person grading this is not going to be listening to it. It's on mute. All right, now, as far as some of the technical parameters, your video has to be in one of these formats. And don't worry, if it's not in one of these formats, the digital portfolio won't let you upload it. The video can be no longer than 1 minute in length. So what I'm going to show you about making the video and then what to include in it, it all has to be done in 59 seconds. All right, and the size of your video can't be more than 30 megabytes. If it's more than 30 megabytes, once again, the digital portfolio is going to reject it. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to record your video using a MacBook, and I'm going to use the Command-Shift-5. All right, that's what you can use in order to make a video of a screen recording. But there's other programs out there to use. You can use Screencast-O-Matic, Screencastify. Both are available on the web, so you can use that on either a Windows or a Mac computer. Also, Macs have QuickTime built into it that also does screen recording. And hey, if all you want to do is grab your cell phone and use your cell phone to record your video, that works as well. As long as it is no longer than 1 minute, it's no bigger than 30 megabytes, and in the end, it's in one of these formats. Okay, so now that you know about the parameters, let's talk about what you're going to include in your video. So here you're seeing a sample Create Performance task, and I'm going to use this and make a video of this to submit to the digital portfolio. Now remember, we need to show the input, the functionality, and the output. But more specifically, here's what you need to show in your video. You need to show what you are talking about in the written response, okay? So actually, let's start by looking at the written response for this project. So let's take a look at our written response, because we're going to need to show in the video what we talk about. We need to show the procedure that we're going to talk about here in the video and the functionality of it. We're going to have to show the list that we're going to talk about in our written response in the video, okay? So I scroll down and I look and I can see here that we're talking about how to store the name and the information in the list, okay? And that's the first thing that we're talking about in our written response. Okay, we are then talking about how we're going to sort the list by first names. Now that's the next thing we're going to talk about. And then the procedure that we're talking about is how to sort by town name. So those are the three things that we're talking about, okay? As you can see here in our written response. So if that's what we're talking about in our written response, that's what we're going to have to show in our video. So now let me go back to the Scratch project, and I'm going to show you how to make the video and what to put in it using Command-Shift-5 on a MacBook. Okay, so the first thing is remember, we don't need to see the code. So let's make sure that we make our screen as big as possible, just showing our program running. Now, this is a program where we're going to have to demonstrate us putting in the contact information, because that was in our written response. We're going to have to sort it by town to see who else lives in the town that we live in. And then it's going to sort it alphabetically by first name. So we have to make sure those are the three things we're talking about in our written response. So that's what we need to demonstrate in the video. Notice in our written response, we didn't check for typos. We didn't mention that feature. So we're not going to show it in our video. And that is what you're going to have to do when you make your video up for your create performance task. So let's see how this works. So I'm going to hit Command-Shift-5. And when I do that, it pulls up the max built-in recording feature. And all I want to record is the part of my screen right here. So after I do this, it'll automatically give me a 5-second countdown, and I can start to record. And remember, it has to be less than a minute. So what I'm going to do is first click on the A here. It says type in your first name. My first name is going to be Test. Okay, it then says, what's your phone number? My phone number is going to be 555-555-5555. All right, and then it asks, what town do you live in? And I'm going to live in the town of Smith because I'm going to be able to remember that. All right, and you'll notice once I did that, that at the bottom of my list of people in my contact list, I now have the name Test. So I'm showing that this worked. Next, I want to see who else lives in that town. So I'm going to click on C, and I get to enter a town and see who lives there. Well, I'm going to enter in the town, okay, of Smith. And who do we know lives in Smith? Test also lives in Smith. So I now see that that function of the program is working as well. And then the last thing is, let's sort by name. So when I click on this S, you'll notice that this all switched now. And you can see that I've sorted by name. So that's everything that I talked about in my written response now in the video that I'm going to upload to the digital portfolio. So the last thing that I'm going to have to do is I just need to double check and make sure that that video that I just made meets these parameters, okay? That there's no distinguishing information about myself, that I didn't narrate it, which I wouldn't do if I was making it. I narrated it because I was demoing it for you. That the format is going to be an MP4, an AVI, a WMV, or a .mov, all right? That it wasn't more than 1 minute in length, and that the file size isn't more than 30 megabytes. So that's how you make the video that shows your program running and shows you demonstrating everything that you talked about in your written response. Good luck.